Hello and welcome to Women in the Coaching Arena podcast. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Jo Lott, a business mentor and ICF accredited coach, and I help coaches to build brilliant businesses. I know that when you prepare to enter the arena, there is fear, self-doubt, comparison, anxiety, uncertainty. You can tend to armor up and protect yourself from vulnerability. In this podcast, I'll be sharing honest, not hype, practical and emotional tools to support you to make the difference that you're here for. Dare greatly, you belong in this arena. Hello, welcome to episode 110 of Women in the Coaching Arena. I am so glad you are here. I feel like I haven't done a solo episode for ages because I've had case studies and a few guests. And I have a really, really good one for you because this quarter I have been doubling down on my LinkedIn growth, posting more intentionally, experimenting with new things, tracking my results, and I wanted to share what I have learnt with you. It's been wonderful because I have had a social media manager for 18 months prior to this quarter. So it's been really exciting to take back my own content, start to feel my way, start to figure out what I want to share. I also think creating content actually helps you clarify your voice, clarify your own thoughts. So it's been a really enjoyable, if hectic experience because one of my previous clients messaged me going, "Is this some sort of AI wizardry that you're just whipping up these amazing looking posts at pace?" And I replied back going, "Sadly not. No, it's just me copying, pasting into Canva, figuring out how to make things look amazing." If you are going to invest time into LinkedIn, my new thinking is that it really needs to count. When I set this goal of doubling my LinkedIn followers in one quarter, and bearing in mind it's taken me 5 years to build up my current LinkedIn connections, my thinking was, why take 10 years to do something that I could do in 10 weeks if I'm truly intentional and set an audacious goal to achieve? So no, I have not managed to double my 5 years followers in 10 weeks. But what I have done is created the amount of followers that I would normally get in 12 months in 2 months. So that is pretty good growth. I honestly think aim for the moon and you might reach the stars. And it's worked for me to set that audacious goal, which has helped me to make this a priority in my business. Another thing I've really learned from making this my priority for this quarter is how lovely it is to have one big goal for this quarter. Looking at my clients and the things they are trying to achieve, I'm often like, wow, how have you got such high ambitions? For example, when they create their first lead magnet and nurture sequence, they often want to create several at the same time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so tiring. So sometimes when you're in it, you just want so many things, often aren't really that essential. And it's been so nice to allow myself to set a goal that was kind of achievable. I just want to grow my LinkedIn followers this quarter rather than have so many things on my to-do list as my priority for this quarter. So that was my one learning. And I'm actually really looking forward to this quarter ending and starting to think about what is my next big priority for next quarter. Whereas I've never really done that before in my business, had a quarterly priority that was achievable, that made me remember what is my focus this quarter really easily because there was one big goal. So, for example, that might be for you setting up your email list, and therefore, how can you make it absolutely amazing in your next quarter? So, yeah, it's really, really exciting. And I hope you gain from that learning too. So, let's get started. My first learning, which is crazy that it's taken me this long to learn this in business, is your content has to be so good that your people want to share it with everyone else they know. In all honesty, up until now, I've never had people really reposting my posts or doing that type of thing. Whereas this quarter, I have had posts that have had maybe 25 plus reposts, maybe more than that. I haven't really checked as I'm recording this, but a lot of reposts. So in other words, people like your content that much that they want to share it with their own friends, family, and network. So you're not just creating content for your ideal client, you're actually creating it to their network as well. So you're creating it for them to share with their network. Think about the last time you shared someone else's post, maybe in Slack, or you WhatsApped it because something was so valuable you couldn't help but share it with your coach friends or whoever it might be for you. You didn't do it because the post was okay. You did it because it was supremely valuable. It maybe gave you a new perspective. You feel like it gave you huge knowledge or education that you didn't have previously. It made you think differently. Or maybe it just nailed something that you have been struggling to put into words. So for me, one of my best performing posts was everyone looks at the cost of working with a coach. Nobody considers the cost of being in the same place as they are now. So the best thing about that quote is that it resonates with my ideal clients to want to share that message with their audience because they are also thinking, honestly, invest in a coach because how much time are you wasting staying stuck? Just like I am thinking as well. We share that same belief that you really need to invest in your own development in this world if you want to make progress. People also want to share content that makes them look smart, informed, ahead of the curve in some way. So when you write a post, ask yourself, would someone share this in a group of peers? Would they save this or bookmark it? Would this start a conversation in the DMs? If not, you need to up-level your content. I was on a mastermind recently and they said, what's your biggest learning? And it was my content was not good enough to gain followers previously, whereas now people are choosing to follow me rather than me connecting with them. I am literally attracting in the most amazing people who are actually hitting follow on my profile without me reaching out first and saying, do you want to connect? And that is just because my content is good enough that they think, I don't want to miss something else she shares in case I'm missing out on value. So fear of missing out is a good one to touch on here. I often follow people also, even if I don't particularly like the headline, if they've created such a good post, I honestly hit follow because I think, what if I miss something else that they post? So how can you create such good content that people do not want to miss out on whatever might be next? Okay, my second learning is that the visual matters. Creative visuals are my least favorite thing. I have very little visual capacity. I am not one to spend hours in Canva, or if I do, it never looks quite right. But what I've learned is it is really important, and a well-designed carousel or infographic or like a branded quote, for example, really can stop the scroll. What I have been seeking this quarter is to make something that the average person cannot just produce themselves in Canva, because anything that is generic and anyone can produce is just not interesting enough for people to stop in their feed. So I've been playing around with different AIs to create really great images, playing around with different formats that can fit a lot of condensed text onto one page. So it's called a cheat sheet, how you can create something that's supremely valuable just in that one page. Because people are scrolling fast, you have 1 second, probably less, to attract their attention enough for them to hit see more. So if visuals aren't your thing, you can also hire a designer. I worked with someone amazing to create a few of the posts, and then I've been using those templates to copy and paste new things into. It's been really, really valuable paying for that. And obviously, I would love to have her permanently in my business so I can just send my ideas and she just creates that visual, and she's so talented at it. So, what it's highlighted is that even if you are what I would call a non-visual person, I don't know if that's what I would call myself, but in other words, I just can't get things to look like she does in Canva. It's just not my thing. There are other ways to get that support and get that help to make things look amazing. Okay, my third learning is top of funnel content really brings people in. The most important things that you need to work on is your first 2 lines on LinkedIn, and they have very specific character counts. So you get to read both sentences before you hit see more. Plus, your image is your hook. So those things together incorporate your hook. A hook is anything that stops people scrolling mindlessly on LinkedIn enough for them to actually hit see more because they're interested in what you have to say. So the hook needs to be good enough that people will actually stop and want to read it. Usually things that bring up curiosity, fear of missing out, things that they think, what is the answer? For example, it might be 3 things successful entrepreneurs do that others don't. So you're thinking, do I do these things? I'm not sure. Shall I just check? And you can't resist hitting see more. It could be something like feeling stuck. Here's what that might be trying to tell you. So, again, if someone's feeling stuck, they're thinking, am I missing something? Why am I getting this feeling? So, anything like that can be really, really great to help people stop the scroll. I've also learned that all your posts don't need to be hyper niche. Previously, I'd always advise my clients to speak very directly to their ideal client. This quarter, I have experimented with loads of different things, really wide content like 5 steps to becoming more confident, which obviously could be useful for anyone, coaches, entrepreneurs, people working in organizations. It's very generic. And previously, I would have really advised against that type of content and said, you want to get known for your thing. But it's been fun to experiment with it, and it has had a few of my posts go way more viral than usual. So, for example, things like 25,000 impressions, with posts on communicating clearly and things that are more generic. And the benefit of this is that LinkedIn start to think, okay, this person is gaining views. Therefore, when you do share a more niche specific post, then LinkedIn will show those people your post. So having those few posts that do really, really well can really improve your reach. Fourth learning is to give an opinion, create an aha moment, or share a stat. This has really helped me to create authority content, posts about amazing stats from the ICF, for example, because then if you can assimilate that very complex information that the ICF have maybe created into an easy to digest carousel, then your clients will want to share that information with their network. It is such a skill to be able to take a lot of information and make it simple. So I've really utilized this skill this quarter in how can I pull out the most exciting parts, the most shocking parts, the most controversial parts. And it has created conversations for me with really key players in the industry who want to hear my opinion on these things. So even though I haven't done the research, I've shared the research with my own unique slant on my own personal experience. And it has helped people to see me as an authority in the coaching space. The next one, which I avoided for a while, is case studies convert. Because I was aiming for follower growth, initially I avoided any testimonials or case studies that generally are never going to get that reach. People know that they are a sales tool. So therefore, it's not like people are going to really like them that often. But your ideal clients will want to see them and they will secretly be interested in your case studies. So you can talk about your program all day long, but what really converts is real life proof. If you are listening to this, you may have already heard last week's episode with Merve. I really prioritize this in my business and have worked with my clients to help this be a celebration for them on how far they have come as well. So if you're saying to yourself that no one will give you a case study because you don't work with business owners, for example, just know that that isn't always true. I used to get video case studies even when I was doing career coaching. So it may just be a story you are telling yourself, and there will be a way to invite people to do this if you make it a benefit for them, not just as a testimonial for you, which clearly many people won't be bothered to take their time to do. Okay, my final point is selling happens off LinkedIn. So this is a big one, quite different from what I used to teach. And I've always taught email lists and webinars and different approaches as well. But I had never really thought about never selling on social media. And now I am moving far more that way because people don't want to be sold to on social media. They are scrolling on their phone, chilling out. It's Saturday night. They're just looking for entertainment. Where you can do your selling is emails, your workshops, your podcasts like this, for example, anywhere else you are directing people to when they are in a different headspace than scrolling on social media. So, this is where the real conversations happen, and conversations lead to conversions. And you can't really often have those conversations with social media alone. So, I have started to really use LinkedIn to start the relationship. It is my top of funnel if you want to talk technical. And then over to the podcast and workshops is my middle of funnel. And then the case studies, sales page, all of that is the bottom of funnel. So don't expect your social media to carry the weight alone. If I was to rely on LinkedIn posting as my only way of getting clients, I would tell you I have zero clients with that strategy. So if you have zero clients right now and you are posting all the time and you're wondering what's gone wrong, no, it's not just you. There is quite a lot to build, especially at the start of your business, to gain that authority, to build that relationship with your people. I know that's depressing. I know it's already hard work doing the work you are doing, but really think about how you can build out your full ecosystem that helps people to keep taking those steps towards you in your business. Okay, I'm not ready to finish just yet because I have one extra bonus for you, which is the hidden upside of LinkedIn, even if you are not selling yet. So, if you are perhaps in coach training and you are not really looking to get clients yet, it's still great for you to post on social media. Even if you are posting for years and you're feeling like nothing's working, this is completely pointless, I've wasted years of my life posting, please know that you haven't. So, here is why. First, you're becoming layoff proof. If your business disappeared tomorrow, or your job, or your coach training, whatever it might be for you, your audience and visibility will carry you through so much more powerfully than someone who has 20 LinkedIn connections. A single post, once you have built up your audience, can land you consulting gigs, amazing employment gigs, whatever you are seeking, you can gain from the work you have done in building your LinkedIn. Second is you're future proofing your career. So networks fade, but LinkedIn lets you stay visible, relevant, top of mind. You are building that platform that keeps eyes on you. So whatever you choose to do, you will gain that support. Third is you are more valuable to employers and to your clients. Visibility equals leverage. Companies pay big money for attention. If you go to a company and you've already built up followers, you have got that negotiating power. They automatically assume you've got something interesting to say that people have chosen to follow you. Fourth is you unlock opportunities that don't exist on job boards. So you have that opportunity to get people headhunting you, speaking gigs, board seats, collaborations. These all come to people who are seen in this space. And my final point here is you're learning career long skills that last. So positioning, marketing, sales, these are not just useful in your business. Whatever you do in life, you will use these skills. One of my favorite examples of this is a client of mine who has relocated to the Caribbean. Imagine that. And she used to live in London. And she didn't move with her coaching business in the end because, as a single person, she felt very lonely in running her business from home. So it had always been her dream. But actually, in the end, she was like, do you know what? I actually quite want a team. I want to get out of the house. This isn't what I want. So she has landed herself a really senior role in a different country off her dreams due to the marketing, the sales, all of the things she learned in my program, despite the fact she learned that solopreneurship was not for her. So it still helped her to gain a better job and move completely across the world and have an entirely different lifestyle. So the best part is everything you are doing is leading towards your future success, whatever that path may be for you. So if you have been sitting on the sidelines, not knowing whether to post, whether it's worth it, are you wasting your time? I hope this episode has helped you see how very valuable it can be to build your LinkedIn, build your personal brand, start to find your voice and attract all of the opportunities that you want into your life. That's all I've got for you today. I hope it was super helpful. If you work with me, I'm intending to build out much, much more on this to share my LinkedIn learnings. My current clients have been on this journey with me, and it's been so, so fun to have 90 minutes on a Monday together to really double down. So, like I say at the end of every episode, trust yourself, believe in yourself, and be the wise gardener who keeps on watering the seed. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Women in the Coaching Arena. I have a mass of free resources on my website, joannalotcoaching.com. That's Joanna with an A and Lot with 2 T's, joannalotcoaching.com. And I'll also put links in the show notes below. Let me know if you found this episode useful, share it with a friend, and leave me a review, and I will personally thank you for that. Remember to trust yourself, believe in yourself, and be the wise gardener who keeps on watering the seed. Get into the arena, dare greatly, and try.